Critical important facts to keeping in mind when we work in corporate organizations in general. It's the moment when you meet your team for the first time. Greet everyone individually. When someone is late, be gracious. Avoid I did this and that. Bring in the we, I was part of a team which or who achieved this or that. Let your team speak about their accomplishments, about their achievements. Don't dare to look at your phone or computer or whatever. There are universally positive leadership characteristics, and they include such qualities as integrity, persistence, humility, competence, decisiveness, and vision. Welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the podcast, The Mammoth in the Room. I'm Nicolas, CEO of Mammoth Leadership Sciences. In the first 3 episodes, we covered some basic evolutionary facts, some basics about human behavior, about its power when it's developing towards a great corporate culture, and its devastation it can cause when it goes the wrong way. Critical important facts to keeping in mind when we work in corporate organizations in general, and as business leaders specifically, because as business leaders, we're tasked to build, support, nurture this working environment where everyone goes beyond to contribute to the greater good, the desired sustainable business success over the long term. But now it's a time to start talking about how we start to do that. And we do that in a bit of a sequenced way, at least where possible, just for orientation perspective. So we're getting a bit more transactional. And today we want to talk about a very important moment in every leadership endeavor. It's a moment when you meet your team, and I mean your direct reports or your leadership team or your core project team you lead for the first time. So basically, the people you are spending the most time with over the time span of this specific leadership role. Mostly, it's a quite limited number of people. Could be as small as 2 or 3, or can up to max 8 to 10. Really max, shouldn't go really higher, because if you take the people part, the coaching, advising, delegating, supporting, and so on and so forth really serious, if you go above 8, it's really difficult. The reason why this is so important is because, as we know, there is only one time to make the first impression. And while you cannot win over your team 100% within the first couple of hours in a way that they relentlessly follow you through thick and thin, you can definitely do the opposite and basically mess it up to the absolute extent. And you wouldn't believe how many managers, leaders are able to do just that. Now, the way how I want to talk about this is mainly through positivity. So a bit more than just saying what you need to avoid, because that would be quite unilateral, I believe, and I think it wouldn't add so much value. Although, in just knowing what not to do is to a large extent already half of the rent, as one of my former leaders shared with me, but that's for another day. And I want to structure this in 3 different parts. 1, rather about the format, the timing perspective. 2, about the content. And 3, about the soft part of the conversation. And yes, some of it is very tactical, but strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Don't quote me, quote Sun Tzu. So let's talk format a little bit. First, don't ask anyone from your new immediate team members to set it up. Like you have a group of 8 sales reps and you task one of them. Do it yourself or find some administrative help to do it. So basically, you are inviting. Then, avoid any hierarchy play. Just don't. And it's important to know these. Some people are not even aware of this. For instance, don't stand on a podium. Don't take the head of the table, even if it's offered to you. Avoid classroom sitting. Set it up in a circle, for instance, and you are just among your direct reports. Be early. Be there before the team. Greet everyone individually. Don't be late. Goodness, don't dare to be late. What about a can of coffee or tea or both? When someone is late, be gracious. Don't OCD it and beat people up because they are busy working on your business. And then, when everyone is here, a quick hello in summary and explain what you hope to accomplish. Make sure you have up front and center that the guideline to yourself is that this meeting is as much about them as it is about you. You want to get to know each other. You speak the least. You listen. You think that's tactical and everyone knows that? My goodness, I have witnessed some unbelievable F-ups in only these things before the meeting even started. You can't imagine, from managers who bash and humiliate the people who are late to that first meeting, to managers who talk only about how great they are, to managers who start maybe with the business objectives. And yeah, have I done some of these things myself? Yeah, specifically very early in my career, I was probably one of these gunner knuckleheads who greet their team in the first meeting with the critical success factors on the PowerPoint when the team enters the room. Long time ago, but guilty as charged. Do any of these things and you're done. Everyone knows you're a jerk and everyone will laugh about you. The worst thing, you will never know. Well, maybe not never, at least not immediately, because as you are the new great boss, no one will tell you. People aren't stupid. Then let's talk content. Start with the introduction of the people. You first. You are the new kid on the block. They all know each other, so it's only polite. Start with family, if you like. Move to the professional life once you're comfortable. In that you focus on learnings versus achievements. Focus on teams you were part of and their achievements. Avoid, I did this and that, I had this role, that team, and then this team achieved this or that, stepped up, whatever. Because what you want to start building is a general we sense. So bring in the we, I was part of a team which or who achieved this or that. Don't come up with phrases like, now we go to a higher level, or now you can finally optimize your potential, etc. All these kind of things which somehow transport that before you were there, people were not on that level, right? Because people will hear when you speak about something like that they were on a lower level before, did not work well, did not try enough, had lower effort or whatever. Basically, we're waiting just for you because now they can. Come on. Always remember, it's not what you say as a leader, not at all. It's about what your people hear. You can talk and you should talk about your vision and how you want to work with them to create an environment where everyone can align their own goals with the company goals. Understand the rhythm, the what's in for me. Speak about hobbies. What else you like to do when not working. Keep the business conversation low. You will speak business for the foreseeable future 24/7, but take the time to get to know each other. There won't be that many safe opportunities coming back quickly because the pressure will be there from day one. I have a couple of examples on my end. I had regional leads before I even saw my team for the first time to tell me I need to be quick, or a general manager telling me who to lay off from this team I get now, or managers who tell me already what I can't do. That's not the time. Yes, pressure is mounting from day one, but this is not the time. And then, most importantly, let your team speak. Let them speak about their accomplishments, about their achievements, about their family if they want, hobbies, whatever they choose. Everyone is proud to tell his or her story. Give it the time. And everyone should have approximately the same time. And you, if it turns out like that, have the least. Now we're moving to the third part, the soft part of the conversation. Be open from body language. Don't have the knee above the table, as this is again something which can be seen as hierarchical, as dominant. Look in the eyes, but don't stare people down. And then don't look away. I hear, but I only pretend to listen. When you talk to people, there are some people who just look aside you, and then you see their mind already going somewhere else. They're hearing you, but they're not really listening. Avoid that. Don't look at your phone. Don't dare to look at your phone or computer or whatever. Ask clarifying, I am interested in you questions. This is never an issue for the ones who are interested in people, who are really truly interested in people. But it can be an issue for others. And if it does not come naturally, still do it, because it's a strategic investment in your future communication with your team and the members. You want and actually need to know if your direct report's hobby is painting with regular exhibitions, if he or she is a university professor in a certain scientific specialty, or in whatever athlete, a former tennis player or an MMA athlete. All of these are real-world examples, and the reasons why you want to find this out is because you want to be able to choose the right words, the right analogs when you address them in one-on-ones or when you are having one of your inspirational speeches in front of the wider group. It also helps you to start evaluating where the blind spots might be in your team, where you might be able to cover and where you don't, because you also, of course, have your blind spots. And again, make sure everyone gets around the same time. Get into this conversation with an approach, this is not about me, it's about the team. Even if your HR department calls it get to know Nicolas or get to know our new director or whatever, that's all BS. You can't walk into these meetings talking for 40 minutes about yourself, not asking one question about the others, but then telling the people that you are so interested in them and how approachable you are and so on and so forth. Well, you have been maybe even late in the first place. Look, it's actually super easy. Set it up in a nice environment, be early, let the team talk, and answer questions about your vision. Just don't be a jerk. That is success in that first interaction. I want to bring in a piece of research. This is a publication from 2014. It's called Evolutionary Psychology of Leadership, Theory, Review and Roadmap from Mark van Vugt and Richard Ronay. These are fantastic scientists in the in leadership, psychology of leadership. And in this article, and we have that in the chat, if you sign up, you can get that, or we somehow make it happen that you can get that. They write, there are universally positive leadership characteristics which have evolved over our hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. And they include such qualities as integrity, persistence, humility, competence, decisiveness, and vision. It's all in this article. I really can highly recommend. Mark van Vugt also wrote fantastic books about this. Now, that is one thing. The other thing is there's also evidence that we lead like we are as human beings. And obviously, if you're brilliant in everything, it's hardly an issue to build a good relationship with your team and increase the trust. But who is really perfect in all of it? So to know about this, maybe reflect on your blind spots will help. Some people are very decisive, but maybe the long-term vision is not so articulated. Well, work on that before you go into that first meeting. Or maybe someone is very competent, but maybe not really humble, or doesn't come across as really humble and thinks to always know best. Well, be aware of that when you walk into your first meeting, and don't try to convince everyone that you're the smartest. First, no one is. And secondly, people will find out anyway that you're competent, if you really are. You get the point. Your first meeting with your team is a bit like an F1 Formula 1 race. You can't win it in the first corner, but you certainly can lose it when you crash. And some crash, including me, believe me, I was there. And then it takes a long time to get back to terms and learn from it. In any case, these were my 3 most important tips for that first and only one opportunity to make the first impression, so that you are basically set on a good level to build onwards from that, right? To build your invincible team, you need to push your business forward successfully. All right, that was it for today. And before we go, if you're interested in more, there's my book coming out in October. It has the same title as this podcast, The Mammoth in the Room. It offers a practical roadmap how great leaders and their teams embrace evolutionary truths for outstanding business results. And it does that in 3 sections: on people, on strategy, and on implementation. And if you leave us your email, we can put you onto a non-binding pre-order list. And if you would like to get the book, for the e-version, we charge only $2.99 in the way up to the book launch. Thank you very much. This was it for today. And I hope I can welcome you back in a week from now when we have the next episode. Nicolas Bocconi, The Mammoth in the Room.